All right, welcome to Blue Pen Land here. In this video, I'm going to try to show you what components are and how to calculate them. Okay, you need a calculator that can do sine and cosine, and you need to have it in the degree mode, and I'll talk about that later. Okay, this is concept zero. Okay, you got to know what components are, right? This is an angle magnitude vector, right? It might be given to you as some angle like this or something like that, right? And the thing you got to understand is that you can express this vector as how much of it is in the x direction and how much of it is in the y direction, right? It's a bit like an Etch-a-Sketch. If you start at the tail and you go to the tip, you draw these components from the tail to the tip, and I always draw the x one first. So we're going to go to the right, and then when we're right below that tip, we'll go up, or if we're above the tip, we'll go down, okay? Notice that this vector itself goes up and to the right, and its components go to the right and up. Okay, so they do the same thing as the vector. Okay, this guy here, because it's in the x direction, remember x is this way, right? Or negative x is this way, right? X is the horizontal one, and the vertical one is the y component. Okay, now let's suppose that this happens to be, the hypotenuse is 5, and this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Okay. Whoops. Then this side here would be 3 centimeters, right? You would write it this way. This is the notation. This is what we got to learn to do. So eventually, at the end of it all, okay, if this side's 4 this way and 3 centimeters this way, right? This is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. There's always a right angle there, right? You would write it this way. So it's 4 centimeters x hat plus 3 centimeters y hat. Okay. So you can say that this little x hat, that just means in the x direction. Okay, that's just a notation that we use. And you can either say in the x direction or you can say x hat, y hat. Okay, now the first thing we're going to practice is looking at something like this, right, and deciding which one's x, which one's y, what's positive, what's negative. Okay, so looking at this guy here, notice that the vector goes up and to the right. This one goes to the right and up. Okay, so this guy is our x component, right? And it goes, since it goes to the right and not to the left, it's positive. This guy here is going up and down, right? Since it goes up, it's definitely our y component, right? And since it goes up, it's positive. You always write the x first. So you go positive 4.5. You don't need the positive. Meters in the x direction plus 3.2 meters in the y direction. There you go. We've written it correctly. Okay, let's look at another one. How about this guy here? Okay, the first thing is to decide x and y. So this guy, since it goes left and right, is definitely our x component. And this guy is definitely, since it goes up and down, is our y component. Okay, now we got to decide plus and minus. Well, since this goes to the left, this is negative x, right? If it went to the right, it would be positive x, but it's to the left, so it's negative. This guy, since it goes down, is negative y, right? If it went up, it would be positive. And so we write it again, negative 1.2 meters in the x direction. And then I was taught to say plus or minus 3.9 meters in the y direction. Okay, so if you go to college and you decide to write it, 1.2 minus or negative 1.2 minus 3.9 without saying plus or minus, please say you come from like West Lynn High School or something like that. Okay, don't say you're from Tualatin High School, because it's sort of poor manners, right? So if this guy's negative, make it say plus a negative. I'm not going to mark it wrong, but I will give you a hard time about that. All right, so here's another one here. Let's decide this blue guy here. Is this guy x or y? Well, since it's horizontal, it's definitely the x direction. Since it's to the left, it's negative. This guy, since it's vertical, is the y component. And since it's up, it's positive. Okay, so I'm going to go negative 1.9 meters in the x direction plus 4.1 meters in the y direction. Okay, that is a proper component vector like that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to calculate. If somebody gives you an angle, I'll show you how to calculate the lengths of the sides. Okay, I'll do that in the next video.